Welcome to Roseflower Radio, the show that goes behind the scenes of your favorite independent artists and creatives. I'm your co-host, Micah Wilson.
And I'm your co-host, Finlay Matthias. With us today is an incredible singer-songwriter from Plymouth, Wisconsin.
What?
His project, Boat Rocked, is coming out very, very soon. And he's here today to talk to us about it and just more about his life and his creative process. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Wisco.
Thank you. Hey, yo, thank you.
Yeah,
The live audience is going wild right now.
Oh my gosh. Hey, I see you over there.
Yeah, I can't believe your mom came, dude. Look.
I know, she traveled all the way from Wisconsin.
Yeah, from Plymouth, Wisconsin, the cheese capital of the world.
Cheese capital of the world. Yep.
Which is quite a fucking slogan, bro.
I know, right?
Y'all are taking over France.
I have a question.
Yeah, what's up? Do you need cheese? I can get you cheese.
Bro, you are
my
a cheese
plug?
guy?
No, straight up. I am so many people's cheese plug. My dad is literally a cheese salesman.
Wait, are you for real?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Oh my God.
Okay, this is great way to start a podcast. Super funny story. I was at Ralph's one day. First time I moved out to California. I was at Ralph's at like 1 a.m. because they're open till 1 a.m. And shout out Ralph's. And I saw this hat that it was just a big yellow hat that said Big Cheese on it, right? And I was like, that's the best hat I've ever seen. So I wore it and like it was my favorite hat. I still have it. Shout out to the Big Cheese hat. But it's from Murphy's. So now here's where it gets interesting. In Colorado, we have this store called King Soopers, right? And King Soopers is one of those stores where it's like a Safeway or like just your average grocery store. And some dude saw me wearing that hat. He goes, "Hey, you know Murphy." Or like he didn't have a New York accent, but he was like,
Hey, you know Murphy. Hey, I'm walking here.
Yeah. I hit him with my shopping cart, you know. It was like,
Yeah, I'm like, all right, Joe.
no, but it was like one of those things that I pushed it. I was like, yeah. But then I realized I turned to my friend and I was like, dude, he has the answers to the Big Cheese hat because I don't know anything about it. I don't know anything, and I don't know why I was at a Ralph's. But there's this Big Cheese hat. Do you know anything about Big Cheese? Is that
Big cheese?
Murphy's cheese? Anything?
No, so I know cheese heads.
Yeah,
You know,
but
like I know cheese heads. I've heard of the Big Cheese. Like
In general.
yeah, like overall, like the Big Cheese is just like the head honcho. You know,
Yeah.
it's just kind of like that dude. Kind of.
Yeah.
You know, I honestly have never heard of Murphy's
cheese. So hey, this is my if you, the listener, or anyone else, if you guys know anything about Big Cheese, please let me know, because this has just been something that I just got, and then like weirdly in my life, multiple instances have just been like, "Hey, Big Cheese" or whatever, and I'm like, you know, I feel like there's an overall story going on that I need to figure out. Like
You're
I'm
a
like
side character in a very big plot
the
right now.
cheese plot, bro.
The Big Cheese plot.
It's a big plot. Yeah.
It's a big plot.
There's a lot of cheese involved.
There's
I
a
can't
lot of
tell you a lot.
holes.
Yeah,
but-
and I was about to say that.
But is there a reason? Why is Wisconsin? I don't know. This might be really obvious. Everyone knows, but me. Is there a reason that Wisconsin is the cheese state?
Yeah, honestly, it's mostly just because we've got all of
The cheese.
all the cheese.
You just got
Most
it.
of the big companies that make and produce, and you know, when you think about dairy farms, you think about like cows and shit. That's Wisconsin. Like you're just driving around, and half the time I'm like, oh, there's another cow. There's another cow.
Yeah,
like straight up. There's you've probably heard of Sargento. That's like a big one you'll see in the store. Sartori. Those are all in my small town of 10,000. The crazy thing is like cheese capital of the world, population of 9,000.
Cheese is not a big business, I guess.
No, right? It's kind of crazy. It's just like that's all it is. It's just big cheese factories, and that's it.
Well, I have to ask, the name Wisco,
Yeah,
is that related to Wisconsin?
yeah. It's related to Wisconsin. Honestly, like people in Wisconsin, no, like we call Wisconsin Wisco. You know, like we're like, you know, like if we're like, oh, we're going back to Wisco, or like, you know, like that's just kind of how
I'm
we're
from
talking.
Wisco, like
Yeah. When you're explaining to someone like
Northern
like,
Wisco, Southern Wisco, something like that.
Exactly. It's just kind of like, or if you see an Instagram caption, and it'll be like, you know, something basic and then Wisco. Like it's just kind of what I wanted to capture, I guess. And honestly, when I was going to college, they if you had a name and you just like kind of say it before you perform, and I literally was just like, my name's Wisco, like out of
Really? That's how it came.
Do not think about it at all. Just kind of threw it out there. There was, I guess, good response, and I liked it. Kind of a spur of the moment, and just kind of stuck. So
That's so tight.
That's really sick. I was gonna ask, would you say that you are like proud to be from Wisconsin if it's your like artist name? Are you like proud to be repping the Wisco name in a way?
So obviously, like, I left for. I'm not in Wisconsin right now. Like I left for a reason. Like, I mean, but at the end of the day, it's still my home and it's still where I grew up. So, and that's where my family is, and I would say I'm a very family person. So, like, just even having that name, kind of, it almost reminds me of that and kind of keeps me rooted.
Yeah, that's really sick.
Yeah.
So speaking of, when did you decide that like you're like you said, like 9,000 people? Obviously, maybe is there a music scene in Plymouth, or were you go? I think I got the answer there. But were you going around to other places and you found music, or where did it come from for you?
Grew up, pretty much born in it. My family is known as the music family.
Really? In the cheese town.
Yeah, right?
You are the cheese music family, bro.
So, think of like Sound of Music, straight up us, like, we're in different shows, in church. We've got our own, like, we have a family band called the McManus, because my last name is McManus, so McManus just sounds dumb, so.
The McManuses?
Yeah, right? So, we're the McManus. Everyone's my dad plays piano and sings. I drum and sing. My sister Kelsey plays saxophone and sings, and then my sister Allie plays bass and sings. So
whole squad singing.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's all of our main instruments. Like, we grew up around my dad's piano because he's always been like a great keyboard player, singing like 3-4 part harmony, just like behind him, just like learning like random songs. So that I guess that's kind of like how it started. I was like, I guess at first I was forced to take piano lessons and kind of stuff. When you're a kid, you're kind of forced to do everything. It's like you don't want.
They don't ask the kid, "Hey, yo, bro, you want to go to school today, or you want to stay home and play?"
I hated practicing growing up. I was just like, fuck this. This is so boring.
Yeah. What did little Conner want to do instead? What were you trying to do?
Little Conner, I mean, I love sports. I played soccer my entire life, so I always wanted to be a soccer player. And yeah, I mean, when little Conner was having like seizures and shit, so dude was like bugging out. So like he was just kind of doing his own thing.
Wow.
He said, like, "Oh yeah, man, he's like having seizures, just hanging out, just kid shit."
Yeah, just kid shit, normal stuff,
Kids are weird, man.
If you don't mind, and we can, if you don't want to,
I don't care. I wrote a song about it. So
really,
okay.
So what was the reason for some of the seizures?
When I was 8, I was diagnosed with absence seizures, which isn't epilepsy, but it's an acute form. There was just like a lot of brain shit going on. I just had, all of a sudden I was put on medication, was getting I had like 2 like really big ones, and it was just,
That's crazy.
I don't really know how to to describe it, because like having a seizure, you don't really know what's going on. That like it's saying like you're losing time, because you don't know what the fuck's going
I have
on.
one friend who had a seizure, and he described it to me that he was like 15 when he had his first seizure. And the way that he described it was that he was sitting on the train, the world went purple, and then he was lying on the ground and everyone was above him being like, "Yo, are you good?" Would you say that's pretty accurate, kind of?
Yeah. The second one I think is pretty funny. It was like a big seizure that I had in 2nd grade. And I'm like handing out napkins because it's my birthday's in August, so obviously I'm not going to school.
Yeah.
Because it's summertime, so I get to pick a random day in the year
To just hand out.
just to have bring in
Be the birthday
shit,
boy,
and be the that dude for the day. So I'm like handing out napkins, and every year I would bring in white Long Johns because I love donuts. And speaking of, thank you for the donut.
Of course, bro. I got you.
Got
I
him a
got
donut
you.
before, just prep him in.
We treat our guests well here.
They do. But yeah, I brought all the Long Johns in, from the Piggly-Wiggly, which sounds weird, but that is a grocery
That's
store.
the most Wisconsin shit I've ever heard.
I tried to gloss right over it because I was like, the Piggly-Wiggly.
You can't just say that, bro.
Got the Long Johns from the Piggly-Wiggly, as you do.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways, so I'm dropping out these napkins, and then all of a sudden I am like on the ground, and just it's the same shit. Like people are just like. All of a sudden, people are looking over me, and then all of a sudden, I'm in a hospital eating chicken McNuggets.
Let's go.
Right?
Yo.
I think it was a 10-piece. I don't think I was. I don't think
You
I
weren't
was.
sick. It wasn't a
Vital
bad enough
info.
seizure for the 20 piece.
No, I wasn't quite getting that 20-piece. But I remember though, I go in the next day, right, and they ate all my Long Johns,
Bro, they didn't even save you one?
That's what I was salty about. I was like, I just had a fucking seizure and I got y'all these donuts for my day, and you're like, well, they're gonna go bad, so fuck you, Conner.
That's what I'm just imagining is everyone just like, you left the room.
Yeah, after they wheeled you out on the
everyone's
journey.
like, damn, man, that was so stressful. Shit, those donuts still look
who do you think the first person was to be like, well, that was bad and all, but we still got these donuts over
they're
here.
like, I mean, he already passed out the napkins, so
we can't have his final act before the seizure be in vain.
But I've honestly kind of at this point. I mean, I grew out of them. That's what happened. Like I took medication for it. That's the nice. I mean. It's not epilepsy, so absence seizures oftentimes is in kids, and oftentimes they grow out of it. So I got put on medication, was on it for like 6 years. In high school, I got taken off of it, and I've been chilling ever since. Yeah, I wrote a song called Seizure, actually, which is an absolute banger, but that's on album too, so, we're
Can't link to it yet.
Yeah.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
Yeah, come see me live.
Speaking of album 2, why don't we talk about album 1 a little bit?
Ooh,
Both.
nice segue.
Thank you. I do
Dude,
try.
he's so good
I
with
do
them.
try.
Smooth
we both
operator
are
over here.
It's at the point where Finlay and I are both sitting there and we're like, what is he saying and what can I say to bring it on to the next thing? We're always trying to one up each other. We're
with our
Caesars.
y'all know Linus Tech Tips?
No.
No, he's this,
I do, yes.
Yeah, but his thing is that he all of his ads are just ridiculous segues. So it'll be like, they'll be talking about like penguins or some shit, and then it'll be like the intro, and then they'll stop the intro and go, speaking of penguins, shout out to our sponsor Safeway. And it'll just be like a complete non sequitur, but they'll just be like, speaking of
Blank. Here's
thanks
blank.
to our sponsor, Dollar
Blank.
Shave Club.
Yeah.
Just like whatever it is. But speaking of album 2, why don't we talk about album 1 a little bit?
Yeah.
Boat rocked.
Boat rocked. It's boat rock exclamation all caps,
point.
and then I have like ED in parentheses lowercase.
Wow.
Just because.
You see, I get that because this show is called Roseflower Live, LIVE.
Right? Because you really want them to
exclamation
know.
point. Yeah.
You just need to emphasize it.
Yeah, and then it gets really annoying when I'm trying to type it in like Instagram captions. You'll be like, Roseflower Live, and it's like new sentence. And I'm like, no, that's the name. Try again.
I'm gonna have to finesse like when I release it too, because you know how like DistroKid.
Oh, you're
CD,
not gonna
baby.
let you do it?
I gotta check in I did DistroKid for my EP release. But I think I remember them having a weird like caps lock weird thing where you can't do it.
But yeah,
so.
that sounds like, because I don't, that's just how weird. Shout out to,
DistroKid.
at home.
Stupid.
Yeah.
DistroKid. What is it? What are the big ones? DistroKid, CD Baby,
TuneCore.
Yeah, those are like the 3 big ones that most people use.
Yeah, and you use DistroKid?
At least I did for
Yeah,
one release.
was
Like the
there
thing
a-
with distributors, it's like, I mean, you could do DistroKid for one release, and you could do TuneCore for another.
Yeah,
release.
like there's no incentive to. I'll hit you. There's no incentive to stick with when you're small, at least.
Yeah,
when
yeah,
you're first starting
exactly.
out, there's no incentive to necessarily stick with a single one, especially when they're giving like first time sign up deals and things
Facts.
like that. Yeah, there's no real reason to stick with a single one unless you have a connection with them, you have a relationship with them. You wanna stick and you wanna maintain that relationship. Was there like any specific reason you chose DistroKid for the
No.
first one? Were you just like
Straight up.
Googled how to put music on Spotify? DistroKid, okay, bet.
Pretty much. Honest, like with my EP release, which I released an EP called While I Slowly Carry On, in 2020.
Which was what, 5 years ago now, something like that.
Feels like it.
Yeah.
Like 5 years. Like I've lived. It's only been what 2 years, but it feels like I've lived 5 years.
Facts.
It's just, But so my first song I ever released was in a single called "Floating On" in 2019, and then that was at the end of 2019, and then I released my EP end of February 2020.
Perfect
Which
timing.
was like, great time. I was getting so hyped, just did an EP release. It was super lit. Had a house show the next week. Had a couple of shows come soon after, and then obviously all those got canceled. But
yeah.
that's besides the point. But yeah, when I was releasing that, I wasn't thinking about anything. I just was like, I want to get music out there.
Yeah.
Totally.
It's kind of like people that I've never been someone to put stuff on SoundCloud too much, but it's just kind of
Yeah.
people that just throw stuff on SoundCloud because you just want people to hear your art.
Yeah,
Totally.
so for this album, then, if for the EP you just wanted it, you threw it up there,
Yeah.
whatever. For this album, do you have kind of like a release strategy? You have like a
Yes.
marketing plan, anything that you want to do,
So I
take
feel
it
like
to the next level?
yeah. Well, I feel like the goal is with each release, the hope is to be able to progress yourself, both sonically and musically, songwriter wise, whatever. But then also business strategies.
Yeah,
first,
exactly.
And, because you would think you would learn from your mistakes, from the
Yeah.
the past.
That's kind of the
release.
point of releasing your first couple songs. you
Yeah,
know?
what worked, what kind of at least singles, there's plans to be 4 singles, 15 songs
yeah.
total. My goal right now is pretty much getting this first single. It's pretty much completely mixed, and right now I'm just kind of shopping around to labels and stuff like that, so I don't have to work at a restaurant.
Yeah,
Let's
that's the fucking goal right there, bro.
Honestly, that is the goal. But and besides that, it's just get an album. Good cover art. Let me get myself water real quick.
Sip that Wawa.
You got that shit, bro. What's better, Wisconsin water or LA water?
Wisconsin water.
LA
LA water
doesn't surprise me.
tastes like pollution.
Yeah.
Damn. Shout out to cheese. Do they put cheese in Wisconsin water? Is there cheese
Is
water?
that cheese water, bro?
Bro. I
Would
wish.
you drink cheese water?
Yeah. Just to try it though.
Just like mouth.
That's what I'm about.
not like
Oh yes, the cheese
no,
water.
the cheese
yeah.
water. I'm like just to try it.
Yeah,
Just to be
for
like,
sure.
well, we eat. Have you had cheese curds before?
Is that like deep fried cheese?
Yeah, it's just fried cheese. Slaps. It's so good. It's amazing. Anyways,
Back to the
Back to the-
album release.
yeah. So I'm trying to honest. I just want to come off as I guess more professional, even
Yeah.
though I don't. It's weird because I go back and forth of when I'm working on the music, all I want is to be as genuine as possible and just make the music that I want to make and don't care about anybody else.
Yeah,
That
totally.
that's really my goal. It's when I'm listening to something, I don't care if any of you guys are gonna like it. If I like it and if I'm getting something out of it, then that's what's important.
Yeah.
Now it's being able to do that and combine this I want to just do music. How do I do that? I need to make money somehow.
Yeah.
So it's kind of figuring out.
Turning yourself into a product, even.
Yeah.
and having
Yeah.
the-
How do you turn yourself into a product while kind of keeping your
Your
without-
own self.
your
yeah.
own self without you don't want to change and be someone else just to have a product that people would like.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of artists can resonate with that. Like,
Yeah.
especially people who don't really know anything about music production, or not music production, excuse me, like music business and handling, like, you know, the ins and outs of how to promote your art or how to do anything like that. And then all of a sudden you're sitting there like, oh, I have this cool song, but like, I don't know how to get it to people.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like this, you know, you have a song you like it so much, and you're just like, I wish, like, I wonder if people would even like, you know, like this as much as I do, and not even that matters, but that like there's, you just know that, you know, people, there's so many people that just won't ever hear it, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, but that's the same for, I mean, so many people. Obviously, like,
Yeah.
I mean, unless you're, you know, fucking Ed Sheeran or you know,
So in which case, people are going to hear it no matter whether it's
yeah,
good
and
or
it's
not.
Yeah,
forced
you don't
down.
have a choice.
It's forced down your ears.
Yeah, if
like-
Ed Sheeran releases something, everybody in the world hears it, whether or not they want to or not.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. But I mean, for the most part, you know, artists like us, it's, you know, it's figuring out a way to just get it into more people's
Yeah,
ear
and I
holes.
think that is the beauty right now of TikTok a little bit. You can say what you want about TikTok.
I'm
and,
gonna say everything I want about TikTok.
but you can have your opinions on TikTok, but there has never been a way, like YouTube didn't really do it. Instagram doesn't, only recently started doing it. Twitter kind of does it, but not really. Somewhere that specifically goes out of its way to look for the people who would like your stuff and just gives it to them right there on their page.
Yeah, your For You page, it really is. It really does feel for you sometimes. Where I'm like, why am I only getting like weird One Piece and Naruto like shit all the time? Yeah, I know, dude. I wore my on my.
Oh, he
my
wore the primitive Naruto.
Just for you,
Dude, I'm so heck. You got me, bro. We don't have to talk about that because that could be a whole other segment.
Yeah, I was gonna say we could be on that for a way too long.
Yeah, bro.
But yeah, it's just incredible the way that now more than ever, if there is an audience for your music, they're eventually, if they're on TikTok, especially, but also just in general these days, if there is an audience for your music and you stick it out long enough, they will find you, which I think is the
crazy.
beauty of like social media and especially TikTok these days.
So it took me a bit to get around to TikTok.
Same.
I'm not gonna lie. I kind of, for a brief moment, was being like, "Oh, it's a new social media. It's just another Vine." Like, I don't want to. Like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this again. Instagram's fine. And then all of a sudden, I just my roommate Jared, who's also been on this podcast.
Yes.
Shout out.
Shout out. He was just showing me some stuff, and I was like, "Damn, that's funny as hell." All right. So then I just tried it for a little bit, and yeah. So I gotta be careful sometimes though, because I'll just be laying in my bed, and it's been an hour, and I'm just like, I have been mindlessly scrolling through TikTok.
Y'all ever
It's
been on so
crazy.
long you get the ad that says, "Hey, you've been scrolling a long time. Take a break."
It's kind of like it's so good that it's like
Bad.
Yeah.
their algorithm's so good that it's so addicting, and you just like you need to put it down. I mean, and that's most social media. Like they're so good at like and just kind of modern day apps and just like always having new shit in front of your eyes, so you're just constantly like being engaged.
Yeah, and ideally that new shit is your music or
Well, that's the goal.
people's music. You know.
Oh yeah, some music. Yeah.
You know, I think that's how we need to kind of look at social media like that. Is like it's pushing everything. If people want it, it's gonna find it and push it.
Totally.
So now you gotta, while also kind of maintaining yourself and staying true to yourself, kind of figure out what it is that you do that people are gonna like. You know,
Totally.
and then once you do that, you're set, you know, because the algorithm will figure it out, kind of do the rest for you. All you got to do is make something that people are gonna like.
The thing
You know?
the thing that gets confusing for me is like when I'm writing a song and when I'm making music, like it's honestly therapy for me. Like
I'm giving you more. Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. Like I write a song to like either learn about myself, like get over something that I haven't been able to get over, you know, or just kind of, I don't know, figure something out. Like a lot of times in my lyrics, I'm asking a question because I generally don't have the answers and I don't know. But that's why I'm writing the song, because like in some either outside of the song or in the song, I'm able to kind of clarify how I feel about something.
Yes.
You know, and I'm not gonna say like I immediately move past something, you know, but it definitely helps. It definitely
It's
like
so good.
Yeah, it's so therapeutic and so healing. And not to say you shouldn't go to therapy, because you should go to therapy.
Shout out therapy.
Yeah, it's good for you. But yeah, I would. I don't know. If even if you don't write music, don't know how to play music, just try writing like lyrics, or just try
A poem, Yeah.
Journaling even can be really helpful.
Yeah. It's kind of that like cathartic experience that
just kind of like putting your feelings down. You're able to kind of understand them a bit more.
And that's the thing that's super dope. And this is what I was going to ask you. So like when you're in the songwriting phase or whatever, for me, when I'm doing something like that, and it's just me in my room by myself, like working on something, and it's very, me, the therapeuticness of it. Therapeuticness? I don't care. That's a word.
Yeah.
But like, for you, what I always find myself doing is I'll like hum some melody to something that I've done or something and figure that out. And then I'll just like kind of just say random words, and then I realize, oh, this is what I need to be singing about. And then like I go from there. For you in the songwriting phase of the creation, is it something that you've thought of for a long time and like written out, and then you put it to a song?
It depends. Like sometimes, honestly, a lot of my songwriting starts in the shower.
Interesting.
That's what's up.
That's the spot.
I'm always singing in the shower. It sounds weird, but I've gotten to the point where I know, like, since I know that's my thing, I will voice memo my shower sometimes. Like, I will put it like away, and I'll just record, because like I'll just be humming some stuff, and then I'm like, whoa, that was a sick ass melody or something like that, and then I go back and I listen to it. I'm like, okay, like where could I fix this or whatnot?
Interesting.
But honestly, like for me, the lyrics that are the best, where I'm just like really just getting in my feels, just like singing, and the words just kind of come out.
Totally. The
words just kind of come out. It's like they've been there the whole time, and it needed like this melody it needed this song, to be heard, or to, for it to come out.
Wow. Yeah.
Like I'm trying to like the entire, honestly, that's like the entire record. There's one point where I'm just like, I remember being in the kitchen making a veggie burger or something like that.
Are you vegan?
No, that I was vegetarian for a hot second. And then I realized that I love bacon so much and steak and most meat that I was just like, I can't. It is what it is.
Totally.
Yeah. But all of a sudden I just start singing, and I'm like, I don't even know what this is for. It's just like a line, and the line is actually one of the songs I do for the performance in Thank God I'm an Atheist, which is like all about religion and me trying to figure out how I feel about it. And the line is, Maria, I can't take my eyes off you. And it's just kind of works really well. And this is like after I'd written lyrics of the song. I kind of written the whole song, and I was always thinking like the bridge, I need more here. Like, how can I write this? Like, I don't know what. And then all of a sudden I'm just like chilling, just like making my, like, just kind of like humming to myself. And then I just start singing, and it like, that's what I sing. I just like, singing, Maria, I can't take my eyes off you. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, what does that mean? Secretly ended up working well, because it's kind of, Maria is actually like the name of
Maria's real.
Is a real Maria girl. Is like the entire album is about a girl named Maria from my hometown. But hopefully she wants to see this.
I was gonna say, does she know? Is she privy to the information that she is the subject of Wisco's first album?
Well, it's a mix. Okay, so like she's the only one I name drop, because like the entire album follows like a pretty trash relationship I had, or like kind
is
of
it
like
a project out, like a sequenced album?
Yeah. It's a concept.
Concept. That was the word I was looking for. Concept album.
It kind of follows. So it starts off. First song is my name, Conner McManus, because I wanted like. I have always thought about it in a movie. Like literally, I was creating this album, and I was like, I want this to be a movie.
That's tight.
That's the first thing I was thinking about. Like, I want to just I want to be on a boat. I want to be on a pirate ship, and I want to be sailing the seas looking for love with.
That's so dope.
Yo, that's a cool image,
right?
though.
With like, and my bandmates are like my crew.
Yeah.
We're all looking, and that's kind of, and it's kind of funny because I've been watching a lot of One Piece, so like, so I've just been like recently too. I've just been like, oh yep, this is the vibe. So the first one's kind of like I wanted to introduce myself because like I'm I guess the main character of the story. That's why I wanted to name it after me. It's kind of like an Irish jig.
Yeah, I remember it from your house show. Yeah, like the very almost a cappella kind of like sea shanty kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. I was going for like sea shanty, indie, Irish jig. Kind of something in that realm.
Yeah.
And then the second song is called Princess, and that's where I would introduce the female character of the story.
the lead, the female lead.
The female lead of the story. And the funny thing is like it's not all about one girl. It's kind of like I name drop Maria a few times, but it's like loosely about that relationship. And then there's a few songs in there where I feel like I grabbed a lot of feelings towards other people.
Different
and other
people. Yeah, totally.
Yeah. I mean, because sometimes it just kind of like for me at least, patterns repeat. So like,
I get that.
I end up seeing like the same thing in this girl I liked, or whatever ends up happening.
So you kind of mentioned there your bandmates.
Yes.
Yeah. So I have a question.
And that's hard, by the way. That's tight. Being
Shout out the bandmates.
like the band. It's not the like I mean the band. Like that's been said before. The bandmates is like crewmates. Like,
like they're the boys. Yeah.
That's what's up.
I mean, ironically, they're all like some of my best friends.
Yeah.
I mean, it's we met at college. We went to music school, and we most of us are songwriters.
Yeah.
Except for my drummer. The rest of us are all songwriters, which actually like it creates for a very interesting
that's
dynamic.
what I was gonna ask. How much of it's so Wisco, for everyone to be clear, Wisco is you, but also the band. There's I believe 5 of you in total.
Now there's 6.
6.
Now
Okay.
there's 6.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when it
growing.
comes to songwriting, how far along in the process do you bring it to the rest of the band? Is it from the start? You're like, guys, I was humming this in the shower. You gotta hear this, or do you you fix it? You got the melodies down, the lyrics, and then you bring it to them.
Depends. Each song is a little different. I feel like because sometimes I've got the entire song guitar like chords and lyrics, the entire structure.
Yeah.
We can always fuck with it still, even when I bring it to them in that stage, because I am always open to ideas. Like that is I feel like the thing that helps the music the most, just having an open mind and hearing other people's ideas, because I trust their taste in music, and I trust they want to make the music as good as possible too, and that's how I feel like the collaboration I feel like is a lot of times what makes the coolest shit.
Yeah,
totally.
Yeah. So I always feel like in this day and age, when you're in the studio, when you're songwriting with somebody, if you say no to an idea without at least trying it,
bro,
you're failing everybody in the room.
You really
because
are.
Today, it's not like in the 70s, they're like, oh, we don't have enough tape to try it. We don't know, man. Oh, we don't have time in the studio to fucking try out these ideas. We just gotta do it or whatever. I thought you were flipping me off. I thought you were. I thought you were just doing that.
A little
fluffy. Thank you. Just making sure I look good. Thank you.
Always.
No, it's more about the audio.
Making sure that little fluff doesn't get in there.
I just want to make sure,
But so yeah, you're right. In this, when you're songwriting, especially today, there's no reason to say no, because the worst thing that happens is you don't like it, and then you either hit Control Z if you were recording, or you just move on.
And so I feel like what happens is because I write with my voice mostly. I mean, I play guitar, I play a bit of drums and piano, but my voice is how I write the songs. I'll get to the point where I haven't even written a single chord and I can sing the song from beginning to end.
Oh, wow.
That's crazy.
Just because that's just how my brain works. I don't know why. It's just like I can hear it all.
I was
in
gonna
my
say,
head.
yeah. Can you like hear what it should sound like?
Yeah, and that's the thing they know too. At the end of the day, I have like I tell them like I like it or not. You know, pretty much like you know like what I say. They kind of know what I say goes, but they also know like they love giving ideas because they know that like I will hear that if I like the idea, I will go with that idea even if it's not my idea.
Yeah, like there's no ego, there's no like, oh, it's my band, so I gotta have all the ideas. It's like if your idea is better than mine, then we're here.
Honestly, I don't think my music would be nearly as good without them. I mean, like I just I don't know. They mean like they're not only all like my best friends and like, my family out here at this point. Like I've lived with two of them, you know, for a while. I've lived with Jared for like 2 years, Nick for a year. I lived with Katie and Daniel and all names of the people in the band. And I literally lived with all of them at one point. They're just like, they mean so much to me. And they're honestly a big reason why like making a lot of the music that I'm making. I mean, I still feel like I'd be making in the same realm, but it definitely wouldn't be the same. It definitely would not be the same music without them.
Yeah, and I think that's great. And it's also great to like give them their credit because I think there's a lot of people who would also just be like, "Oh no, I'm Wisco, bro. I'm the fucking music, bro. Look at me." You know, so like to give everybody, especially when they're your homies, you know.
See, the one thing that's different though is that Finlay just kind of always claims Roseflower. You know what I'm saying? Like I'll be like, hey, you know, maybe for the podcast we do this, and he's like, shut the fuck up. And he smacks me and calls me walrus.
Yeah, like this. Walrus.
He didn't do it though.
You should have edited a slap effect. Yeah, exactly. Thank you. Here we go. Walrus.
Does it not sound like a slap?
That's a snare drum, bro. I think I heard that on Splice the other day, bro.
Do you use Splice?
No.
What DAW do you use?
We use Pro Tools.
Shadow Pro Tools.
Yeah. I am no producer, so
you're the first person
funny.
I've ever met who said Pro Tools, man.
Dude, well, you know, so the way we did this album, it was quarantine, and the thing is, I wrote some of the songs I had written before. We wanted to re-record from the EP, make them a little better. But then we started I started writing. I went back home to Wisconsin for 4 months when it was like you couldn't even go outside.
Yeah.
Out
Did you
here.
visit the Piggly-Wiggly?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Got some of them long johns.
Yes, I did, baby.
Oh boy.
But I was just, you know, chilling in my parents' basement. Just like every day would be me practicing guitar, and then playing video games with my friends, and then waking up, like staying up until like 3 a.m., waking up at like 2 p.m. and
That's what's up.
And
repeating. And but when I was writing, that was kind of the beginning. That was my beginning thoughts on this like whole album. I was like, I'm gonna make this big, like do this whole concept album.
And well, speaking of going back home, you recorded a lot of the album in Wisconsin too, didn't you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I heard a lot of things about the studio. I heard it was very, very impressive.
Oh, it was sick. It was so much fun. I honestly, the main reason why we recorded in Wisconsin is because the studios weren't open out here.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Like Wisconsin,
Totally.
like they were open, so you're like, okay. So we flew from here to, and then I stayed with my parents last year in July, and recorded. Like it's been going on for a while. It feels like. Okay, I have to explain it real quick. So
you got it.
Yeah. So when I was I started writing the songs in Wisconsin for those 4 months, came back.
Yeah.
That's when I showed it to them, and we would do our rehearsals in Logic, like over Logic, because there was no like practice space for us to do it.
Yeah.
And I have electronic drums, so we just had those like going in through. I had to get myself like a 8-channel interface, so we could have like everyone going at the same time. Everything sounded compressed as shit, and I had no idea how the hell to how to properly do it. But it was enough for us to get demos. Really, we got demos of everything, and then we went to Wisconsin.
And the whole band went to Wisconsin, right?
Whole band, yeah.
Damn, that was. And did you all just stay at your place? The whole fam pulled up to the.
We did 15 songs in 6 days. Yeah, it was insane. It was, and the thing is, my parents lived an hour away from the studio.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was midnight, or it was noon to midnight every day. So we'd have to leave at 11, get there at noon, go till midnight. Sometimes we're there until like 2 a.m. They're letting us stay longer. We're back at like 3 a.m. Got to be up at 10 to get ready and stuff like that. And it was just that for an entire week. We were all exhausted. It was so much fun.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I remember just finishing that and being like, where's my stizzy? Like,
yeah. Kind of. What's the situation in Wisconsin when it comes to?
I was gonna ask, what's the situation with gas?
I mean, it's
both. It's kind of the same question in a way.
Yeah, because so gas prices are not as bad there as here, obviously, but they're still bad. I mean, I think I haven't been keeping up super recently, but I know it got like over 4, which is very expensive.
Totally.
Like when a normal day you'd be like, oh, like 250, 260 for sick. Like that's kind of what you would mostly see.
Yeah.
And then in terms of the danky dank,
the other gas.
Yeah, the other gas. That's illegal.
Oh.
Yeah. It's all good. That's why I live out here. So.
We here on the Roseflower podcast, we are in favor of the legalization and the removal of all criminal records related to marijuana. I want to put that on the record.
Totally.
And that is also a great thing, I think, to end on. But we like to give one question to every guest before we end.
Okay.
So, if you could maybe go back in time, to little Conner, maybe Conner before he came out to LA, right?
Conner pimping into Piggly-Wigglies.
He's out there with the Piggly-Wigglies after the seizures.
Right.
Yeah, you got
mid-seizure.
You come to him in a dream. Hello!
You just appear. You have 30 seconds. You appear next to high school Conner before he comes out here. Call it 2018 Conner. Mm-hmm. You have 30 seconds before the time vortex closes and you come back to modern reality. What are you saying to him?
What am I saying to past me?
Yeah, you got 30 seconds.
All right.
You got 20. It's 25 seconds now, man.
No, it's like so. Pretty much, I tell him that he's a piece of shit and and get his shit together. Nah, honestly, like it. I would just tell him it's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
It's gonna be okay. You're gonna have shit times. You're gonna have good times. But at the end of the day, you're gonna find people that you care about, and you're gonna be okay leaving.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
I think that's a really great sentiment to end on. So we have this camera right here, this camera right here. Anything you want to plug, your socials, the boat rocked, anything.
Yes.
Now's your time.
All right. My Instagram is Wisco Music. Most of my socials is Wisco Music. So that's just, you'll see a little stick figure. It's like W stick figure SCO. Keep on the lookout. I've got an album called Boat Rocked coming probably in the in the near future. I've got a single for sure coming out in the next month or two. So, yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, please check it out because it's gonna be pretty sick. Not gonna lie.
I'm fucking excited. From what I've heard, this album is gonna be insane.
Thank you.
Micah,
Appreciate it.
Where can everyone find you?
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Micah W Music, which I feel like I have to change.
Yeah? Why?
Okay, because I really want Micah Wilson just like that.
Yeah.
But the guy who owns it is like some like Navy SEAL or something. So I'm
you
too
can't
scared to DM him,
get
bro.
it from him, bro.
Nah,
He challenged you to a duel at
bro.
sundown.
I have to like drown or something, whatever the SEAls
Shit up
do.
contest,
Yeah,
bro.
I'm dead. I can't hang. But Finlay, where can everyone find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Finlay did it, because who did it? Finlay did it.
Finlay.
Hey.
And that's about it. You can watch more episodes of Roseflower Radio here on YouTube, on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you consume your podcast. You can watch Conner's episode of Roseflower Live, out now, came out today. And he performed 2 songs on Roseflower Live, out now. Thank God I'm an Atheist, and Lion/Miss You, both of which are on Boat Rock, coming out very soon. Conner, again, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
And I have
was
to give
so
you a
much
firm
fun.
handshake for the Naruto.
Oh,
That is the Naruto handshake
Some
right there.
anime weaves right here.
Yeah, this is a great yes.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us, Conner. Thank you again.
Yeah, no
Goodbye.
Have a good one.
Balls.
Balls.
Pause.